Hello everyone, hello and welcome to my channel. I'm sure a lot of you have not seen my face before because I'm usually behind the scene. So I'm sure you're looking at me like, who is this? Yes, this is me. My name is Deola, aka Made by Deola. So thank you all for your support. Thank you all for always tuning in, and to all my returned viewers, I appreciate you all very much. Thank you for your support so far. And to you all my new watchers, if you're just joining us today, it's your first time watching any of my videos, I welcome you to the community. Thank you so much for joining. Today's video is not going to be a tutorial as usual, so this is very different. I'm sure you can already tell what it's going to be about with the title of the video today. So before we go into that, if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you do so. Do me a favor and click that subscribe button, and also make sure you share with your friends and your family members. If you're sharing with your friends and family, that means other people will be able to see some of the amazing contents that I create. If I do say so myself, every engagement really counts and it will help my channel grow. So please, I need your help to be able to grow my channel. So today's video, I'm going to be talking you through some of the basic things that you're going to need to kick off your sewing journey. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So this one might seem to be a little bit of a basic thing that you would think everybody would know that you need to start your sewing journey, but it might not be so obvious to a lot of people. But you're going to need to find yourself a tape measure. So find a tape measure. So this is what you're going to need. So for every little thing that you want to sew to a measurement, you're going to need a tape measure. So yeah, so it might not seem, it may seem like it's an obvious thing that you need, but it may not be obvious to everybody. So yeah, number one, first on the list, get yourself a tape measure. You're going to need that. Everybody needs that. Number two, right, so I'm going to recommend a good fabric scissors. You're going to need that. So there are some really expensive ones out there, but you can also find some decently priced fabric scissors anywhere. So if you go to your local supply store, you'll be able to find a decent pair of scissors there. So yeah, number two, you're going to need a pair of good fabric scissors. And alongside that, I would recommend a pinking shears. So this is what it looks like. It's got some rich the edges there, as you can see. So that's what it looks like. So this is pretty much for when you, well, for as a beginner, I wouldn't expect you to have a serger. I don't have a serger. I've been sewing for 3 years now. I do not have a serger, so this helps for when I'm trying to have that neat finish to any of the garments that I've made without using a serger. So you're going to need that. So this one stops your fabric from fraying, and then gives you that neat finishing that you're really after. So I would recommend also getting that if you're a beginner and you don't have a serger. So yeah, that's a good idea. And next, I'm going to need your pins or your clips, depending on which one you want to go for. Some people like to go for clips, where some people like to go for pins. So your pins are going to be really useful for keeping those fabric together when you are sewing, so they're not moving about under your sewing machine. So I would say clips for those thicker fabrics that you want to pin together before you start sewing. So I think it would be a good idea to have both in case you need to have clips but you don't have clips, but it can come handy for those big and thick fabrics. But yeah, you need your pin and your clips. That's number 3 right there. So right, number 4, what else do we need? Number 4, I would say you need your tailor's chalk. So tailor's chalk, so for me, I have used this type before. This is what they normally look like. I've bought this before, but I find them really difficult to mark on fabrics because they don't go on really easily. So I find them really quite difficult to use. So then I went for this. I saw this online and I went for this instead. And these are actually quite cheap, you know, cheap as chips. And they have different colors in them. So as you can see here, they've got 12 in there and all different colors. So really depending on whatever fabric color you're working on, I think you will have the color that you need for the fabric. So this is the one I'm currently using. You can use on both sides, and these ones actually mark on the fabric really easily, so you don't need to be stressing yourself to get the chalk on the fabric. So yeah, that's number, what number are we on again? I can't remember what number we are on, but yeah, you're going to need that as well. So there you go. So now next on the list, you're going to need your needles. Okay, let's see if we can focus on that. So you're going to need some needles, right? So this one right here are universal sewing needles. So I wouldn't recommend buying any other type of sewing needles if you're just starting off, because these universal ones are pretty good when it comes to sewing any type of fabric. So I rarely change my needle type when I'm sewing, so I tend to use the universal. Even for the jeans fabric that I've worked on recently, I used a universal needle and it worked pretty well. So I would say just buy a universal set of needles to start off, and then if you feel like you need other types of needles, then you can add on to your collection, but for now I'd say you need to start with that. Yes, threads. So you're going to need some threads. Again, you can buy this from your fabric supply store. They usually have all these little accessories that you're going to need. So you're going to need this in pretty much almost every color, depending on the fabric that you're sewing. But I think I would suggest that the most common colors that everybody would use would be maybe white or black. So black tends to go with a lot of darker fabrics, so you can't go wrong with having black. I tend to run out of my black and white really easily. So I would say, yeah, starting off, have blacks, and yeah, have your threads in different colors. Okay, so that's that. And also, yes, these little numbers over here. So I have two different sizes. They tend to come in different sizes, and these are going to become your best friend. So these are seam rippers, okay? So this is going to help you remove those seams when you've made a mistake. I mean, trust me, every single one of us will make mistakes. As long as you are sewing, you're going to make a mistake. So it can be maybe something as simple as, oh, you've sewn your fabric together, the wrong sides facing the wrong side. So you want to undo that. These little things are going to become your best friend. So I think, and next on the list, guys, you're going to need your, what are we needing, guys? What are we needing? You're going to need your rulers, your French curve ruler. So I would say especially this one, if you're a beginner. So this is called a French curve ruler, okay? So you can see it has different patterns and different things on there. So this is going to help you for when you are trying to make your neck measurements. For example, you want to draw that neck curve area, or you want to do your underarm measurement, you want to curve that out. So instead of you trying to freehand it, so this is going to be really useful to just place that on your pattern and then just use that to curve the pattern out. So yeah, so this is really useful if you're not very good with like having steady hands to get those really really useful curves out of your fabric. So I would recommend this as well. I'm gonna put the link to where I got all of this from in the in the description box below, so you'll be able to get these things too. And then next you're going to need your bobbins. Okay, so bobbins are pretty much where you put your threads inside the sewing machine. So this is what they look like. I don't have an empty one, but if I have an empty one, I would have shown you. So this is what they look like. So then you have to wind your thread around it, and then this little thing right here goes inside your sewing machine when you are sewing. I will show you exactly where it goes in a minute, but yeah, you will need some bobbins. So normally when you buy a sewing machine, you will get additional ones with your sewing machine, but I would recommend getting a few more because you're going to be working with like different color threads, so you don't want to end up taking away undoing your bobbins and then putting a different color depending on what fabric you're working on. So it will be handy if you have a spare set of bobbins that you can work with. Okay, so now that we've gone through almost everything, lastly you're going to need your sewing machine. Yes, yes, what did I say? You're going to need your sewing machine. So for me, I've got this little, well, it's not so little, but just bear with me 1 second and I'll show you this, my sewing machine. And I think a lot of people have already seen this. If you've been following me for a long time, you've seen this sewing machine already. So this is my sewing machine. Okay, so it's, yeah, so this is what I use currently. So it's the Brother sewing machine. The model is LS14. So it's a LS14 Brother sewing machine. So it's very beginner friendly. You can pretty much use it for anything you want to sew, really. It's not a heavyweight machine. Let's just be clear on that one. It's not heavyweight. You can't sew anything like leather or anything on it. It's not that heavyweight. So anyway, so anything else you can sew on this, yes, absolutely good. You have different thread patterns that you can use, zigzag, and if you want to make your buttonholes, so you have the settings for that. You have your different zigzag, your hemming stitches, and your straight, and whatever different sizes of stitches that you have, they're all there. So it's a very beginner friendly sewing machine. It's very easy to use. It's not complex at all. Right, so now talking about bobbins. So I said to you before, I will show you where the bobbins go. So when you're sewing, your sewing machine, your thread, your main thread will go at the top, and your bobbins will go inside inside the sewing machine. It goes inside there. Yes, so your bobbin will go inside there in the machine, and I'm so sure you can see it already. So that's pretty much it, guys. So if you would like me to do a video on how to use your sewing machine, drop me a comment in the comments below, or if there's any other type of video that you would like to see from me, let me know in the comment section. So that's just a quick overview of what I think you will need as a basic sort of material if you're looking to start your sewing journey. So it's very quick. 10 items you're going to need. I will link all the linkables in the description below, and of course you're going to need your fabrics. That's last but not least, you're going to need your fabric. So whatever type of fabric you want to sew with, just go ahead and buy it. So I will put some links in the description box, like I said. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'm watching you. Let me know what you would like to see next. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for being there, and I will see you all on the next video.